Well, hey guys and gals, welcome back to Building with Hex Regulus. I wanted to build something like a little convention center, or maybe it's like a big hall or something. I made it 72 by 121. That's silly. That's really silly. This is going to be more low to the ground than like these skyscrapers. It is going to come up a significant amount, but it's not going to be at nearly as tall as like say this one here. It's not going to get to world height. So it's more of a on the ground kind of floor space sort of a build. Next, I put this wall of glass all the way around it. That's 2 blocks in all the way around. It's 5 blocks tall. However, at the back of this thing, I'm actually going to remove this glass for now. So you'd only want to do 3 walls. This is going to be the tallest end. It's going to be somewhat like a triangle or like a tetrahedron, if you know what that is. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to stack like basically some slabs on here. So I have 2 slabs of white concrete. Each of these 2 slabs is 2 blocks tall, 8 blocks this way, and 60 blocks long. All right, it's actually right over this corner as well. So if I just use this white wall that was randomly in my inventory, you can see that that's right over the corner. I'm going to delete that for now. I might actually put in some columns on the corners. We'll see. Anyway, so it's 8 blocks wide, 60 blocks long, and then I did another one starting on the corner here, and another 60 blocks long. So that means that this whole thing is going to be 120 instead of 121. So I did take off, or started to take off that row, just to let you know that it's not going to be 121. I didn't think that through mathematically, because 120 is divisible by a lot of things, but 121 is only divisible by 11. So it would make it a little bit tougher to get this to look right. Anyway, there we go. Just like that. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another slab of 8 blocks wide, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 blocks tall, and this one is going to be half of this one. So it's going to be, let's see if this is, no, it's actually going to be 40. So it's not going to be quite half. So it's going to be 40 next. So the next thing that is divisible into 120. Okay, so the next one I did, so basically after I did that 40, so after I did those 40, I went up 2 blocks and then did another 40 and did another 40. Like that. So we have this kind of a thing going on right here. Should look something like that. Okay, the next slab I'm doing is 8 by 2 by 30. And then we're going to have those stat. So then it's going to offset again and offset again and offset again and climb up like this. Okay, there we go. The next one is going to be 8 by 2 by 20 blocks long. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 blocks tall, and we'll make it 20 blocks this way and then stack it. This one's going to stack, should stack, what, 6 times? All right, there we go. The next one is going to be 10 blocks long, so we'll do 8. I think that's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 by 2. And then we'll go 10 long. And then this will have 12 of these. Okay, there we go. Haha. This might not be working out at all, but we'll see. Here we go. The next one is going to be 5 blocks long. So we're going to go, yeah, the next one's 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, up 2, and then 5 blocks going forward. And this will stack, so 24 times? I think. Yeah, 24 times. Haha, there we go. It's starting to look right. The next one is going to stack, and it's only 3 blocks this way. So 120 divided by 3, that's 4? D? 40? Is that right? I think it's right. So we need to do this 40 times. Haha, there we go. Yes. The next one is going to be 2. And we'll have 60 of those diagonally. So we'll do a 2 by 2 by 8. So we've got 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It should be 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. Oh yeah, it's starting to look a little bit bonkers. It's supposed to look like that. Oop, oop. If you've been paying attention, you might have guessed that the next one is just this. Just one block, and we're just going to stack that up 120 times. Yeah, so that's absolutely completely bonkers. So this thing ended up being a little bit taller than I had first thought it was going to be. It seems as though it is 311 blocks tall. It's not quite the way I wanted it to be. Okay, so tell you what, I got rid of that really tall one, the one where it was just up one over one, up one over one. The next one is this one. This one's actually going to be the tallest one right here. So I suppose if you were building this and you were super mad at me right now, what you could do is you could just delete these 8 blocks out here, rebuild them over here like this, and we're going to just do one single flat layer on the right hand side here. I think that's going to be the way to solve the problem, because that actually right there is a good angle and the other one is just way too tall for what I want to do. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work at all. It's not gonna work at all. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to use World Edit to actually move this over by 8 blocks and then build that on the side. Okay, so this is what I was saying. I moved it 8 blocks to the left, and then I'm going to build 8 over here. If you're doing this in survival and you built all of that, A, I'm very sorry that you're doing that, and B, just just remove like the glass from the other side and build it over here. 8 blocks this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then take that flat all the way to 120 blocks that way. There we go. That's much, much better. Okay, the next thing that I've done here, for the most part, anyway, I need to finish it over there, but I've gone up 5 panes of glass here. So I did actually fill this whole thing in, so I'm sorry I had to delete that earlier. That's the process of building 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then basically what I did is I went up with the pattern of 5 blocks of glass and then 1 block of white concrete, but I did that 2 blocks deep so that it would stick out by a block here, so we kind of get that little bit of an effect. And then I did that all the way across like this, so basically it's up 5 glass and then 2 blocks of concrete like that, like coming out towards me, and then 5, and then another row of the concrete, and then 5, and then another row of the concrete. And so what effect that has is it gives us this like this. And for places where I couldn't go up 5, I just went up as high as I could with the glass and then stopped wherever that level was, if that makes sense. So we end up with this looking thing here. Looks pretty bonkers. It's pretty darn bonkers. Okay, I kind of went a little off the rails on this part. This only comes over to here because there's an overhang of 2. Next, what I'm doing is I'm filling in these open ends with some white concrete. So it's going to be like this right here. And we're just going to fill this whole thing in with white concrete. I was debating about putting windows in here, but I think filling them in is going to look better. I think. This next part I wasn't actually going to do on my version of this thing, but I am going to do it. So what we want to do is come to the 1, 2, 3, the 4th iteration of this thing. So this is the one where the slabs are 30 blocks long and there's 4 of them. And you're going to come to this corner right here. And we're going to delete everything that is from here all the way to this spot right here, where it's like the 1, 2, 3, the start of the 4th iteration of that same level where they're 30 blocks long. And then we're going to come up and over to this one here, the So 1, 2, 3, this one right here. And we're going to delete that. We're going to go from there to there. And I'm going to delete all of that stuff. Like that. And create this sort of hole in the middle. Like that. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do that in a little bit. Next, what I did is I filled in the sides of these white concrete things here with more white concrete like that. And then I filled in this here as well, but I'm leaving like the gap, this hole open, and also this part right here on this what is this? I guess it's like 4. Is it 1, 2, 1? Anyway, this section right here that we have left over, I'm leaving it unfilled. The other side of this, the side towards the street, I continued the glass pattern, the glass and white concrete pattern that we had from here. I just continued it all the way until it hit the main tall diagonal like that. This thing's starting to look pretty cool, actually. Look at that. I like it. On the inside of this thing right here, this area that I cut out, I lined that with the same glass pattern as we have on the outside. So it's 5 and then 1 thing of glass, but 2 blocks deep like that. And I set that back 1 block from like the lip of the edge of the hole here, if you will call this a hole. And I think it's looking really good. I'd like to add some more details to it. And to be perfectly honest with you, I'm not exactly sure what those details would be, because the general shape of this thing has come together just nicely. And I don't really want to mess it up too much. To be perfectly honest with you, I don't love... So like that looks good. That diagonal looks good. This diagonal looks good. This diagonal looks good. But these ones down here, they don't really look like diagonals. They look too flat. And I wish I could go back in time and make those a little bit more diagonal. But I don't even know how I would make that work in Minecraft and make it not look super derp. So, yeah. I guess the other thing is I could have taken it from here and just like cut these 2 off and made it a little bit more narrow. I suppose I could do that, but I think that would change the build too much. It's very cool, and it kind of looks like a sail, which is why it's kind of cool to have it near the ocean. All right, I came up with a detail that I really like. First of all, I put these jungle trees in here. These are just naturally spawning, so I just like put, you know, a 2x2 grouping of the saplings and did bone meal and just grew these things. It would be nice to have some custom trees in here, but I don't think I'm going to have time to do that. So I think that 3 of these nice tall jungle trees are just about the right size, actually, for what I wanted it to look like, and that's perfect. Then what I did is right here, so where is here? I guess this would be, you know, on the middle one of these, on the 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess 5th step up, I started doing these windows. And basically what I did is like, so 1 block over and 1 block up from this corner, I went across 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, except I always stopped at this spot right here where it was like 1 block over and 1 block up from the window. So then the next one up would be 1 up, and basically what that is it's a window on this level of the glass here, on this level of this pattern, and then skip 1, and then a window on this level, and then skip 3, so I could go up to the next iteration of these windows, just to make it so that it kind of looks like they're in line and that these are like floors, and then we maybe have like windows on this floor here. If you can see, like if I stretch this line of blocks out like that, there's no windows on that line. Otherwise, they're pretty much every other block. So like I said, I was doing 7 across, so I went 7 across and then a space of 2. Except I would always stop it here wherever the pattern ended up. So right here, I went 7 across, space of 2, and then started a new 7, but that one stopped. And then up here, you can see the pattern a little bit better. Right here, we have 7 across, 2, 7, 2, 7, 2, and then as much as I could do before I had to stop the pattern, like that. And then when I got to this part right here, where it was sort of flat on the back, what I did is I tried to mimic what I was doing down here. So I started here 2 blocks from the edge and did my 7. But then on the next one up, I did 2 and then started the 7 pattern after that. So I did like 2 windows and then 2 like this. And I'm using the light blue stained glass pane. And I think that actually looks really good. I'm going to do a similar pattern on this one as well, and on the rest of this, and probably that right there. I might do exactly the same pattern, but we'll see if it makes sense to do so. Okay, I did exactly the same pattern on this upper part. I think it looks really cool. The only difference is when you get to this, the overlap is 4 instead of 2. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2, and then like that on that part. The others, the width of the windows was all 7, and it's in the same placement. It looks a little different because of how the slant is, but it's really cool. Okay, I completed that pattern on this one and on this one. On these, I pretty much just started with 7 at this point right here, which is, you know, the second like window block up like that. And then I just arbitrarily chose an overlap of 1 because I couldn't quite figure out the overlap with this thing here without having to like do it on this window here, do the pattern on this window. Yeah, so I did the same thing here, starting at this block right here. So it would be, I guess, 2 over and 2 up from this, like that. And all the long windows are 7, except right here. I cut it short because there's 2 blocks right there. Next thing I did is I extended the road here in our city. Of course, that has nothing to do with the build, but it does kind of give me an idea of what to do next. So then I figured out where 1/3 of the way across was, and then I built this little thing where it's just some smooth stone coming out in this pattern like that. And then I opened up this with, this is a 4 block tall 4x3 opening, and then I put some of our window panes in there. And then I'm going to do the same thing right here where this black concrete is. So just right here, we're just going to come out by 1, let's see, 1, 2, like that, get rid of that. And that's our center block. So 1, 2, so that's 3 across. So we're going to go across like that. And then 1, 2, 3. And then we'll do a layer here where there's 1. Another one over here where there's 1. And then 1 more layer on each side to give us that effect. And open this up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll just put in the window panes. Okay, on the side here, I did the same thing with the lights. Well, almost. This one needs a lantern. There we go. And then back here, what I did is I extended this out by 7 more blocks. So it's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 now. And then I did this 4x2 by the whole length of this build, this little wall thingy. And then right here, I extended my pathway here to this along this way, just like that. So now we have a little bit of a connection there. Next, I built this giant, just sort of pond of water, like a man-made pond sort of thing. That's, well, I don't know how wide it is. Kind of doesn't matter, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, so 14, 15 wide, and then the length of the build, just like that. And then I put sea lanterns all across the bottom, just to kind of make like kind of a cool little pond. All right, on the top of that wall, I went ahead and put in some flowers. So basically like yeah, just like that. And then here I put some benches across like this. There are like 5 of them. And then here what I did is I started, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from the corner. And I built some more of those doors. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them like that. And I think that's looking pretty darn good. Okay, next I added in some more of these jungle trees along here. I spaced them about 8 blocks apart. And then I surrounded some of them anyway with these little slabs like this. Little stone slabs. Smooth stone slabs. I really like smooth stone for modern building. It just looks nice for some reason. I use it a decent amount, as you guys know. But anyway, I think that's about all I'm going to do with this build here. I don't know if I'm going to do the interior. I definitely don't have time to do the interior in order to get this video out on time. But I really like the way this build turned out. I was a little skeptical at first, but I like it quite a bit. I think this is a really nice shell of a build. Please let me know if you'd like an interior built on this or would like me to continue it further. But I think the major part of the build looks really nice. Okay, lastly, I added in just a little detail with the stone, with the smooth stone here, just some sort of little circles like that. And then I guess what we could do is fill the middle with some podzol and do a few orchids like this. Like the way those look. All right, so there we go. Our futuristic conference hall slash maybe residential building slash random thing is done, and I'm quite happy with it. I'm really glad we put those extra windows in, the little pattern ones. That made a huge difference, and I really like this build from all angles. It looks really cool. Like this side looks really cool. Like if I was driving down the street and I saw that, I would be like, what is that? And then over here, of course, this angle here, it's a little derp, this angle, but it's still very interesting. I think if I saw that driving down the street, I'd be like, what is that? So, very cool. Very cool. And of course, this angle is really nice as well. Well, guys and gals, this has been Hex. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please do leave a like and share and subscribe and all that stuff if you did in fact like it and you want to see more stuff like this. But more importantly, I hope you're having an amazing, awesome, beautiful, fantastic day. It's a crazy world out there. Be safe, and God bless.